My unit, I know this review video is getting out to you guys a lot later today. All apologies. I didn't get home until 4 a.m. this morning. We were out filming something really cool for cable television later this fall. A story I think you guys are really going to enjoy. A real-life story about a rock legend in one tragic night that occurred 15 years ago. And we tried to tell the story the best we could. A lot of the cast still has several shoot days left this week, and I know they're going to knock it out of the park, and I'm just happy that I was able to be just a small part of this production. Hopefully I remember to keep you guys informed. A lot of times with these acting gigs, I'm always looking forward to what's next, and I forget about what I did until a family member or friend texts me or calls me and says, BC, you were just on TV, man. What an incredible story or something. And I'm like, what was it? And then I got to go search it myself. But if I do remember, guys, and I think on this one I am going to, because this, again, is a story that's just so captivating. And it's a real-life story, and I think we did it justice. But hopefully you guys feel the same. I'll try to keep on top of it, and when you guys, or should I say when it's about to be debuted and premiered, hopefully you guys check it out. I think you'll enjoy it, man, and I think it's really thought-provoking and eye-opening for sure. So anyway, I don't mean to be cryptic about it, but I can't give out too much information, obviously. The cast and crew is still filming as we speak right now, as I'm filming this. They're in northern Jersey right now still shooting, so can't give too much out, but you guys should enjoy it, hopefully anyway, and I'll keep you guys in the loop as the time gets closer for that premiere. But anyway, that's what I was doing last night into the wee hours of the morning. That's why this review was getting up so late. So before we get into SmackDown Live and the review for August 27, 2019, I want to give you guys my honest opinion. I like to deal with fact on this channel. You guys know that. But I'm gonna give you guys an opinion here so I can leave this out in the open for discussion, up for debate, so you guys can have your own word on this. Right? Instead of just dropping the fact gabble on this, instead of just dropping the truth judgment on this, right? This is truth, this is fact, no need for discussion. No, I'm going to open this up for discussion, and that is the King of the Ring tournament. I feel, my opinion, my own fact, but I'll say opinion, is that the King of the Ring tournament has been a complete failure. It has failed. The entire first round is over, and I feel not captivated, not one bit intrigued for what's to come, and I don't feel any superstar has shined more than the other, or even shined more than they were beforehand, if that makes sense. I don't feel anybody or anything has been accomplished through this King of the Ring tournament. It's just one man's opinion. I'll leave it to you guys. I want you to give me your honest opinion on this tournament. Do you guys feel like a superstar is shining bright in this tournament and great things are to come? Do you feel like this tournament has captivated you? Are you hanging on the edge of your seat, not waiting for the next round? Are you thinking about it? Who could it be? Does it really have you interested? If the answer is yes, then your opinion is you like the tournament so far. That's great. Me, I'm nowhere near that side of the fence. This tournament, the complete first round, has been a waste. We had a couple of good matches, don't get me wrong, but they could have been performed without this King of the Ring moniker over their head. Because as we've had a couple of good matches in the first round, we've had a couple of head scratchers as well. Sami Zayn ring a bell? And I can go on. This whole first round didn't do anything to propel anybody. But on top of that, if you look at the second round, a couple of good matches and a couple of, what the fuck is this? You have Samoa Joe and Ricochet, which should be good, but I've seen it before, and you have Gable versus Andrade. Should be good, but they'll give him 5 minutes like they gave Benjamin and Gable last night. So don't hold your breath just because it looks good on paper. Trust me, this is WWE we're talking about here. Cedric Alexander versus Baron Corbin? Wow, that's intriguing. Baron Corbin versus Alexander. And Elias versus Ali. This tournament is something special. But beyond that, these individuals, who are you going to put the King of the Ring moniker on? Who are you going to give the robe and the scepter to and the crown? Because this should be to a heel that can use that going forward. Samoa Joe? King Samoa? King Joe? That just looks so weird. Samoa Joe is a badass. And he's coming to the ring with a scepter, a crown, and a robe. Well, BC, he doesn't have to have all those things. Maybe he just now is known as King of the Ring. I guess that would be the only thing you could do with Joe, because I don't want to see him in a robe with a crown and a scepter. But it just sucks because a character could really use that getup. I used to love King Booker. And you just don't see that with Joe. So he would just have to use that as something he's accomplished, I guess. But if that's the case, are you telling me if Joe's booking remains the same, that King of the Ring moniker is going to do anything for him? It's rhetorical, of course not. King Ricochet? You talk about an identity crisis. The guy is a Power Ranger as it is, right? His character is supposed to be a superhero, and I say that because WWE.com is always calling him the superhero of WWE. So now he's a king too? He's a superhero king? Which is it? Just like Joe, you would just have to have him have the moniker, I guess. He can't come out with a superhero outfit and a scepter and a crown and a fucking robe. So he just has to be called King Ricochet. Not too far from that is Ali. He's like a fucking superhero or a fucking Mortal Kombat character. Get over here! Finish him! He reminds me of somebody from fucking Mortal Kombat. So now you put on a robe, give him a scepter and a crown? King Ali? That actually sounds pretty good, but I don't think that fits Ali's character at all. And he's a face, how far can he go with it? So he would just have to be labeled King of the Ring. And again, if his booking remains the same, will it do anything for him? King Alexander? Seriously? Yeah, that fits his character. King Cedric Alexander. King Gable? Maybe if he was like a badass heel, right? But this Gable, this clean cut, looks like he's about to go to fucking Princeton University on his first day of class. King Gable. It doesn't fit. Leads you with 3 guys, maybe. Andrade, and that doesn't fit to me either. He's already got the mouthpiece in Zelina. I don't think he needs a robe, a scepter, and a crown. King Andrade. But I guess he's one of only 3 options. The only other 2 is Elias, and Elias, I don't see Vince McMahon putting a lot of stock in him, so I think that would be a complete waste and failure. So that leaves us with King Corbin. As horrible as that may sound, A, it actually sounds okay, and B, he's the only one that's gonna benefit from this. The fans aren't gonna benefit because I'm not sure we're gonna give a shit anyway, but we wouldn't give a shit if it was Elias either. And Andrade, it just wouldn't make fucking sense. So out of the 3, Corbin, Elias, and Andrade, I could see them actually going with Corbin. Do not be shocked if they put this on Corbin and it's King Corbin. Me, if it's down to those 3, Andrade. Even though it doesn't make sense, Zelina could kind of play off that, I guess. I don't know if I want to see Andrade with a robe, a crown, and a scepter, though. It doesn't fit. So just the names that are remaining, it's just weird to me. The way this is being drawn out is weird to me. I think that if they were going to make this King of the Ring successful, I personally feel this should have been done in one night. Like a pay-per-view. You got 12 pay-per-views a year, and on top of that, sometimes they run these little special events, you know? Just like a live house show or some shit. You could have had so many opportunities to give this just one of those nights. And in one night, you make it something special. The King of the Ring tournament in this format is just drawn out. And if you're not going to give us epic match after epic match after epic match and make people really feel like this is something important and special, then it's not going to be pulled off correctly. That's the truth, man. You can't just give us a Cesaro, Samoa Joe hard-hitting match and then have Sami Zayn lose in 30 seconds. You know, you got to have consistency with this tournament. It has to be the best wrestlers you have competing for an amazing opportunity to be called King of the Ring. Instead, you got a 10-minute match, a 5-minute match, a 1-minute match, a 7-minute match. It just doesn't feel special. Again, this is one man's opinion. I'm leaving this open to discussion. I'm not just dropping the fact gabble and fact hammer onto you guys. This is fact. I don't even need discussion. No, this is open for discussion. You tell me how you feel. And if you honestly love this shit, or if you're going to give me the BC, give it a chance, that's just the first round. Yes, because I just gave you the 4 matches in the second round. That's much more captivating. Cedric Alexander versus Baron Corbin. Elias versus Ali. Gable versus... Gable? I dropped the Gable. Gable and Andrade and Samoa Joe and Ricochet are the only 2 matches that are semi-decent in this second round. And we've already seen them. Or Gable and Andrade will get about 4 minutes, probably. This tournament is a dud. It is a failure, and it sucks because it could have been something special had they done it correctly and put it all in one night. Or, if you're gonna draw it out like this, you have to put the best talent in the most epic matches possible. You give them 15 minutes at least. I don't care if we gotta have 2 commercials. They at least need 15 minutes. And that's just the low tier standard. People have to feel like this is something awesome. Instead, guys, you know I'm right here. Every one of these matches just seems like another Raw match or another SmackDown match. All they're doing is adding the title of tournament on top of it. Doesn't feel special. The second round isn't gonna be any more climactic for any of us. It'll be anti-climactic. Again, it's a shame. It had potential. I'm not huge on tournaments, guys. You guys know, if you follow the channel from day one, I'm just not. I know what pro wrestling is at the core. Pro wrestling is larger-than-life superstars, or what should be, and captivating storylines. And at the big event, normally a pay-per-view, you have to see the good guy versus the bad guy, David versus Goliath. With the top superstars, the larger-than-life stars, and a badass storyline. And you have to see the culmination. A tournament in something, a product that is predicted ahead of time, it just doesn't fit for me. Because all it is a dipshit in the back writing out all these names and just picking winners. Right? Well, BC, that's what pro wrestling is anyway. Yes, but it's with larger-than-life superstars and badass storylines, so we have to see the culmination. When it's a tournament, it's just one bozo who just determined in 10 seconds who he's gonna have. What are we seeing? Right? At least in, like, what was it, guys? WrestleMania 4, I want to say? Was that the Macho Man Randy Savage tournament, I call it? That's when he won the title. There was a huge tournament at WrestleMania. I believe that was WrestleMania 4. And there was a huge tournament, and the title was on the line. Macho Man ended up winning. And he won the title, but in that tournament, there was larger-than-life superstars. It meant something. There was something huge on the line. There was a lot of big fight feel intrigue in that tournament. Or the King of the Ring tournaments, when Owen Hart won it and such. It was all done in a night, and it was the pay-per-view, and it was something special. But if you're gonna do it in this format, I just have a bozo who's just predicting their fucking winners. Nobody's really shining. Ali isn't shining, even with his win against Buddy last night. Cedric hasn't shined. He has signed with WWE. He hasn't shined. Ricochet, Drew, Cesaro, Samoa, Elias, Andrade. Nobody shined in that first round. Are they going to shine in the second round? I'd love to see that. This is just a Raw match and a SmackDown match. Raw match, SmackDown match. That's all this is. It doesn't feel like a tournament because it's just not. It's a sham. It's a farce. It has failed. That's one man's opinion. That's my opening monologue to this review show. Let me know what you guys think, man, honestly. And if you really are excited to see this tournament unfold, let me know what it is that is exciting you, honestly. And I'll go over a couple of the first round matches the last two I should say, of the first round. I will go over that because they were performed in last night's SmackDown. That was Buddy Murphy versus Ali and Gable and Benjamin. So that closed out the first round. So I'll go over that as well. But I just don't know. I think there was a lot of hype and anticipation when this was announced, and I think people really quickly realized this was a failure from the beginning. And it just has fell off the train tracks from there, and it's never really gotten back on track. SmackDown Live started off with Roman Reigns in his video package for the 954th time, just in case you forgot any details in this whole Roman Reigns / Mystery Attacker storyline. WWE is making sure you've seen it enough times that you memorize it now. It is literally memorized. It is instilled in your dome piece. 954 times that video package has been played, and this time they wanted to excite their crowd live in attendance and intrigue all of us at home right at the start of SmackDown, not with a badass entrance theme or fucking theme music just to start us off, right? Not with pyro, not with anything that's fucking big for the night, a big announcement. No, they started off with Roman Reigns' video package. And then when that was done, we went into a Randy Orton Kofi Kingston video package and all of their little drama leading up to this point. So we had back-to-back video packages. In the first 7 minutes, you were already snoozing. Kofi Kingston hits the ring. He delivers some words for Randy Orton, and Orton appears up on the Tron. And he repeats 10 times, "Stupid, stupid, stupid, stupid." And I thought he was honestly talking about the Sasha Banks haters, because that's what I say 37 times in a day. Stupid, stupid, stupid. But Orton was actually reading a letter from Kofi's son, supposedly, and that told Orton he's mean and to leave his dad alone. So Orton said, "I could just write back, your son, but I'm actually staying at the same hotel, so I'm just going to deliver him my response." This infuriated Kofi Kingston. Kofi runs to the back, and Kofi and Orton end up brawling at gorilla position. Pretty badass brawl. Orton actually gets Kofi up on one of the tables and DDTs him off the table, or his feet were hanging on the table. You know, what he usually does on the ropes in the ring. So a badass, devastating DDT flatlines Kofi Kingston. They were able to back up Orton. Pretty cool brawl. So if you got away from the first 7 minutes of bullshit redundant video packages, the opening segment would have been badass. Instead, it was kind of like pushed to the 10-minute mark. And then by that point, I think, the start of SmackDown, that adrenaline for the crowd anyway, kind of died down, man. I would have switched that up a little bit. Actually, I would have switched that up as a whole. I would not have started with a Roman Reigns video package that we've already seen 954 times. Then we go to the King of the Ring first round match, Buddy Murphy versus Ali. They gave them 10 minutes plus, actually, so that was good to see. Tom Phillips literally says, as Murphy was being introduced, Tom Phillips says, "I don't think there's anyone hotter in WWE right now than Buddy Murphy." And then 10 minutes later, Buddy Murphy was taking an L, middle of the ring clean. Does that not tell this company in a nutshell? Tom Phillips literally says, "I don't think there's anyone hotter in WWE right now than Buddy Murphy," as he's coming to the ring. And 10 minutes later, Buddy Murphy is taking the L via the 450. If he's the hottest thing, like Rusev was once the hottest thing, like Banks was once gaining traction, like so many beforehand gained traction, Vince would sweep the fucking rug right up from underneath their feet. He would not give you the chance once he saw that momentum was on your side. We've seen it with superstar after superstar. I'm not saying I'm a big Buddy Murphy fan, but if you're claiming he's one of the hottest stars now, then let's see what the kid's got. Ten minutes later, Buddy Murphy is losing clean middle of the ring via the 450, man. And this wasn't a case of he's a winner even in defeat, which is, I think, what they were trying to go for, just like they did 2 weeks ago with Roman Reigns, right? Even though he lost against Roman, that's what should have happened, and Buddy Murphy looked like a superstar in that match, even in defeat. I think they tried to recreate it here, but the problem with that is Ali doesn't have near the clout Roman has. Ali doesn't have that type of fucking star power, not yet anyway. Not the way they're booking him. So Ali defeats him, and the crowd was like, fuck, all right. You know, like that did nothing for Buddy Murphy. Nothing like what Roman did for Buddy Murphy. Ali can't do that for Buddy, so you just had Buddy, middle of the ring, take the 450 and just eat the L, and he kept his shoulders pinned to the mat. That's a loser. But I thought he's one of the hottest stars now. You gotta treat these motherfuckers as such if you think that. That's the problem. You wonder why Rusev said, no, I'm going home, I'm getting the fuck out of here. Rusev had that whole Rusev Day shit, and if they played it correctly, it could have been something. I wasn't a total fan with him and Aiden English, but it was clear that fans were on Rusev's side and wanted to help propel him into something special in this company. And Vince just wouldn't allow it. In fact, he went the other way and made him look like a joke 99% of the time. I don't blame Rusev for wanting to get the fuck out of there. This guy says there is nobody hotter in WWE right now lately. And he eats a fucking L in 10 minutes to Ali. You can't beat Roman, understandable. Now you can't even beat your own fucking former 205 Live combatant in Ali. Who can you beat? Honestly, Danny Dipshit Dugenheimer, Billy Buttfuck McGee, his cousin Mitch McGee? Who? That's what you're telling your audience. And I'll get the beefy. It's gonna be okay. It's just another match he lost. That's all. Yeah, just another sorry, not sorry type scenario, right? I have to apologize because I'm fucking so smart. I have to apologize because I have a brain in my dome piece. I have to apologize because I actually take inventory of wins and losses. Oops, my bad. I actually like to remember what happened last week or a month ago or a year ago. I like to know this shit. I like when things make sense. I like logic. I like common sense. Oops, fuck was I thinking? Match was good. Match was good. And I don't even blame, it's not even, you can't get it twisted here because Ali is more than deserving of that victory. And today's fickle fans who were once heavily behind Ali, and now they're heavily behind Buddy Murphy. I'm not saying they don't want the best for both, but they were heavily behind Ali at one point, and I saw that kind of shift to Buddy Murphy. And then where does it shift to next? Cedric, and then who? The next up-and-comer from NXT or 205 Live roster? The next guy from Japan. I mean, it's never gonna end. WWE has a plethora of talent right now that is being misused and misutilized, or not utilized at all, and they have to start that. Now you guys want every new fucking face to get skyrocketed to the top. Ali didn't even get didn't even have time yet, and Buddy Murphy was already on the scene. So in one aspect, you say, no, Ali, he was there first. He's got immense talent. He deserves a little bit of a fucking push before Murphy. So you could say that shit. But on the other hand, then why do you have him in the ring with Buddy Murphy, who clearly should not be taking another L right now? Not to a dude smaller than him. I understand the Roman thing. Ali? Don't have them in the ring together. And on top of that, Ali and Buddy Murphy, if you played it correctly and you bumped them up on their own, eventually could be a badass pay-per-view match. They could go 20 minutes and blow the fucking roof off the place. Then it wouldn't matter who won or lost because they just stole the show. But no, 10 minutes on SmackDown and one of the hottest guys in WWE supposedly is taking the L. BC, don't worry, Ali's good. Oh, I know he's good. You're missing the whole point. So I just don't fucking stand that. Ali will move on to the next round of the King of the Ring tournament, and I can't tell you how I'm just holding on to the suspense I have. I'm so excited to get to the second round. first hour rears its end with The Miz challenging Shinsuke Nakamura for the IC strap at Clash of Champions, because that's fucking intriguing. Who wants to see Shinsuke versus Miz for the title at Clash? Raise your hands. No? Mitch the Plant? No? Any one of my coffee? No, nobody wants to? Nope. Nobody out there? Any of you guys? Put your hand down, Jack. There's always that one in the crowd. Puts his hand up. I see you, Jerry. Put the fucking hand down. Anyway, the bottom line is this, okay? Shinsuke, love him. Miz, there's times I love him. This, for Clash of Champions, the response to AEW's All Out, 2 weeks after All Out, right? This is the card that you're giving us. Rollins and Strowman is doing nothing for me. A tag team match with Rollins and Strowman versus Dolph and Robert Bobby Roode is doing nothing for me. And now I have Miz and Shinsuke. This card is fucking awesome. Charlotte Flair versus Bayley, Beastly. So, anyway, Sami Zayn actually comes down when Miz challenged Shinsuke. And Sami Zayn talks a bunch of shit on the rampway. Miz goes to go after Zayn up the rampway, but Shinsuke attacks Miz from behind. Sami Zayn is telling Shinsuke what to do next. Get him in the ring and give this Hollywood star his close-up, which is just a huge knee to face, if you will, in the Kinshasa. So Miz just got destroyed. I like the tandem here between Sami Zayn and Shinsuke. I like this. You know what I mean? Sami Zayn is the perfect mouthpiece. It is a shame because he's such a good wrestler to see him reduced to that role, but it is something pretty cool. I like the tandem, and I think Shinsuke looks more of a badass now than he ever has on that main roster alongside with Sami. There's this new level of badassery and confidence in him that I'm enjoying. And it really showed its true colors last night. So I like that. I'm just not intrigued with Miz versus Shinsuke. I just feel they don't know what to do with Miz, man. At one point, they're pushing him to the moon. Then they're taking him back to, like, not even on a card. Then they push him a little bit. Then they put him back to mid-card. Then they lower him to the first match or the second match on the card. Then he's totally off the pay-per-view again. Then he's being catapulted toward main events again. They don't know what to do with this guy. And what it's done is it's devalued him. It's diminished his stock. And I'm sure most of our eyes. And that's a shame. That's why Miz and Shinsuke for Clash, just not on board. Second hour. So we start this bad boy out the second hour with Bayley versus Lacey Evans, non-title. Lacey Evans, another Raw super. Why is Bayley taking on all these Raw super? She's the SmackDown Women's Champion, I thought. This doesn't... Not only is there no brand split anymore, there's also no wild card rule. There's no organization at all. This company is as confused as the XFL is going to be. No sense here or logic, man. Bayley versus Lacey on SmackDown. What the fuck? Charlotte's at ringside. They gave these two over 10 minutes. They could have actually been... This match could have been longer than Buddy Murphy and Ali, actually. So I'd have to go back and check the timing, but I think they may have beaten them by a minute or two. It was actually an entertaining match, to be honest. I know, Lacey Evans, Bayley, non-title, over 10 minutes. But it was actually entertaining. I think the crowd never disengaged. Not saying they were on their feet, but into it at least. That's all you can ask for a 10-minute Lacey Evans match. So yeah, there wasn't a true disconnect or disengagement with the crowd, and that really showed at home. And so I was just able to focus on the match itself. I didn't think they did bad, you know? So I guess that's a plus, a positive, and a good in its own right. In the end, Bayley takes the W with a flying elbow. Charlotte is on the outside, motioning 10. And that's not for Sean Spears, Ty Dillinger, the perfect 10. No, this is saying, I'm going to be 10-time champion at Clash of Champions. And you know what? I don't doubt that at all. I think Vince wants Charlotte going into Fox SmackDown Live in October. Charlotte Flair with that strap. So that is an omen and sign to things to come for Bayley. Randy Orton is up next. He takes on Big E. This is a physical matchup. They took it to the outside a couple of times and flung one another over the barricade, over the commentary table, and onto the commentary table. With a little help and distraction from the revival at the end, Orton was able to pull off a badass RKO for the win. Post-match, we saw Super RKO. I love when they do this shit. That's when the revival hoisted Big E into the air and into another devastating RKO. So, Orton and the revival end up posing up on the ropes. I like this threesome that they have, man. I really do. Something about them is really clicking. I said this before. It reminds me of Legacy a little bit. And we'll see if they actually give Revival the time of day with Randy Orton. This could just be to set up, the finish at Clash of Champions with Kofi and Randy, and then they just go their separate ways. But I do like this little 3-person stable they have. I don't even think it needs a 4th person, but if they added a real key element that Randy Orton could help make a star out of, then I'm down with that. This is the most relevant and significant that the Revival has been since they've been on the main roster, and I'm talking about with their tag team title reign. Or lack thereof. Elias is up next. He's sitting on the King's throne at the top of the ramp. Owens appears behind the throne and they battle to the ring where Elias is promptly stunned. Now, after Owens clears the ring, R-Truth appears and he tries covering Elias for the 24/7 title, but Drake Maverick drags Truth out of the ring and makes the cover himself, and new 24/7 champion once again, Drake Maverick. Gable is up next for the last first round match for the King of the Ring tournament. This is the last match of the first round. Gable versus Benjamin. Just 5 minutes, if even. I don't even know or think it hit the 5-minute mark. But Gable defeated Benjamin. This could have been cool. It's Gable and Benjamin, first of all. 2 good wrestlers. Yes, Shelton Benjamin has lost a step or two. No longer in his prime, clearly. He had some injuries as well that he had to deal with. But still, 2 damn good wrestlers, the finest at what they do. And on top of that, you have a little backstory, former tag team. And instead, they just, and this is the King of the Ring tournament. This is what everybody was hyped about. BC, this is going to be cool. Stars are going to be made. People like Gable are going to shine, and Ricochet, and Ali, and Buddy. Yeah, Buddy Murphy shined in the first round. He fucking ate an L, shoulders pinned clean in fucking 10 minutes. Gable shined, definitely. 4.5 minutes. What a match, Gable. If you blinked or went and got a hot dog in the crowd, you missed the match. Gable defeats Benjamin and moves on. Who the fuck cares? Roman Reigns ends the show by showing a video of Eric Rowan pushing the lighting grids onto Roman from a few weeks ago. So he has a camera angle, as if we didn't see 117 camera angles of that. Roman somehow had the best camera angle imaginable. Roman had the dead-on shot, but we, for weeks, had 117 other angles that didn't clearly see shit. Okay, believable. It's so fucking stupid. So, Brian is backstage when they see Eric. Oh, and by the way, this video shows Eric Rowan was the guy that pushed over the lighting grids. Supposedly. I mean, it's still not a clear shot, but it looks pretty much like fucking Rowan. And Daniel Bryan is smacking the shit out of Rowan backstage. You're a liar! You're a liar! I know nothing about this! He smacked the shit out of Rowan so much, Rowan just left. Daniel Bryan said, give me a mic. He takes a mic backstage and he starts making his way to the ring. As he's making his way to the ring, he's saying, Roman, I had nothing to do with this. He's a liar. I had nothing to do with this. It wasn't me. He gets into the ring, finally, and he is met immediately with a spear from Roman. And that's how the show ended. Dun-dun, dun-dun, dun-dun. You got Roman's fucking music blasting. You had 29 people in the crowd going, yes, yes, literally 29. Go back and watch it. Yes. The rest of the crowd's like, that's the finish? And that's the finish. Daniel Bryan gets speared. I'm not saying it's a horrible finish, but, I mean, it's one of those cases where you had such a good storyline going. The start of a star being made in Buddy Murphy started, again, what happened last night with Buddy Murphy and Ali, you can't put Buddy Murphy in those type of matches if he's just going to lose. You know what I mean? If he's truly what Tom Phillips said, one of the hottest stars in WWE right now, and has such immaculate fucking talent and skills, let him shine then right off the gate. Why just make him a 50-50 book bum like everybody else if he's actually got the talent? Let's see if he can sink or swim. At least give the guy a chance. But this story started that with Buddy Murphy, and it started something that we haven't seen in a while, an intriguing storyline. So there was so much good at the start of this, and in the past several weeks, starting from really a week before SummerSlam, it all started to fall apart. It's like they didn't know where to go, and I knew where they wanted to go from the beginning was Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. So in that aspect, this is going off exactly how they wanted it to. The problem is, this storyline was actually much better than originally thought, I should say, for WWE. So at that point, they should have called some audibles, saw how good this was, and made it more intriguing. Instead, they were perfectly content with just getting us to Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. I feel it could have been more special. I'm not going to compare this to any NXT attacker angle like some people like to do. No, this is its own entity. And it should have been its own thing, and it was going off in its own way, and it was going off in its own way perfectly. They just got content with the end finish here, the end result being Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns. You could have done that a million different ways. This angle was starting to really pick up. It could have been more special, is all I'm saying. It didn't have to draw out for 3-4 months. No, but you could have had it be something more special. A bigger reveal, a bigger jaw-dropping moment, bigger cliffhangers for multiple weeks, not just 1 or 2. I don't know. Yes, I do, actually. I'm being modest. I do know. I mean, those are facts. You know, I leave open to debate how you guys feel thus far about the King of the Ring tournament. I think it's a complete failure. But what is fact is that the tail end of this attacker storyline has fell right off a cliff. And that's been a failure in its own right. That's just a fact. Amplified Man! Ooh. For now, guys, we're going to double fist some coffee. Again, I got home at 4 a.m. I had about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours of sleep. And then I had to get up and do some important shit when I finally got up early on. And then that led into some more errands. And before you know it, like, time just flew. And I still have a lot to do. And it's pretty late, so I have to get some coffee in me. I don't have, believe it or not, I know I got amplified in this video. I actually don't have a lot of energy, man. I'm giving you guys what I have right now. But I have to find some energy somehow because I have a long night ahead of me. So, the podcast later this week, guys. I don't think there's going to be an impromptu video. I just have so much to do and I feel like I'm behind. So, but there will be the podcast video. I'm hoping anyway, man. I don't want to confirm anything right now. I need to regroup. But for now, that was your review for SmackDown Live, August 27, 2019. I hope you enjoyed that. We'll take this one step at a time. Keep checking on the channel. Make sure you're subscribed, notified. And when the Amplified Man puts out that video, you guys will be the first to know because you are the unit, man. We stick together. We kick ass together. The Amplified Man. Yow! Check you later.